Hello everyone, my name is Alana. Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And give this video a like. Up a clip from Young Sheldon Season 6 Episode 9 depicts the Big Bang Theory's portrayal of George as youth pastor Rob becomes a vital member of the Medford High School football squad. With the exception of Sheldon's father, who was long gone by that point, every member of the Cooper family made an appearance on The Big Bang Theory. Even still, his son's propensity to share childhood experiences taught viewers a lot about George, even though the majority of his tales present a bad image of his father. Young Sheldon constantly contradicts himself on this point. The Big Bang Theory's portrayal of George will now be included in the CBS prequel as he navigates a very trying period at work. The main focus of Young Sheldon Season 6 Episode 9 will be Sheldon's thoughts about quitting school. Apart from this, though, the Cooper patriarch will reunite with Pastor Rob during the show's forthcoming winter premiere. Rob is hired to give a motivational speech to the Medford High School football team. This circumstance enables young Sheldon to portray George from The Big Bang Theory, who is typically cranky, as seen in a recent promotional video. Watch the video below. Associated with one of Sheldon's oldest Big Bang Theory plots is explained by young Sheldon S6. After Mary's former coworker receives the credit for his team winning a pivotal game, Pastor Rob is stealing George's thunder at work. As demonstrated in a previously leaked Young Sheldon Season 6 winter premiere clip, Mary fell in love with Rob, which has already affected the Coopers' marriage. This nearly ended their marriage and stoked George's fears as a husband. Now that Rob is back, he takes over George's job, which is the only thing he can really call his own. Sheldon's father is obviously irritated by this, and it may cause problems in his marriage as he vents his growing animosity of Rob on Mary. Even while it's painful to watch George go through this, it might help CBS with the family comedy's storytelling problems. The Big Bang Theory is consistently at odds with young Sheldon's portrayal of George. Perhaps George's long-delayed cheating scandal began because he had to deal with Rob at work all the time. One of the most anticipated plotlines in the prequel is the Cooper patriarch's affair, which was initially established on The Big Bang Theory. Rob's return might effectively lay the foundation for it, even though nothing tangible has been set up for it yet. It's unclear how long Rob will serve as the spiritual coach for the Medford High School football team. Since young Sheldon frequently ends storylines before they have had a chance to develop to their full potential, this might only be a short-term issue. But if it's going to be a multi-episode arc, it's not impossible that Rob's relationship with George would eventually lead to his getting back in touch with Mary. This might ultimately be the cause of George and Mary's marriage disintegrating on Young Sheldon. Young Sheldon Season 6 Episode 9 clip sees TBT's version of George, and fans are losing their minds. If you've been watching Young Sheldon for the past few seasons, you've no doubt seen the show evolve in fascinating ways. But nothing could prepare you for the jaw-dropping moment that just dropped in Season 6, Episode 9. In this episode, we get an absolutely mind-blowing glimpse of George Cooper as the Big Bang Theory fans know him, and it's not what anyone expected. The clip has left fans completely shaken, as this version of George is both a nod to the future Big Bang Theory version and a deep dive into the complexities of his character. Young Sheldon just delivered something that's bound to make history in the world of TV spin-offs. The twist in this episode is a game-changer, and fans are here for it. If you thought you knew George Cooper, think again. This season, young Sheldon introduces us to a completely new side of George that will change the way you view his character. And we're not talking about just the father figure. We're talking about the deeper, more intricate layers of George Cooper, as hinted at in The Big Bang Theory. The moment that young Sheldon fans have been waiting for has finally arrived. In a pivotal clip from Episode 9 of Season 6, viewers are treated to a scene that brings the version of George Cooper seen in The Big Bang Theory to life. And let's just say, It's a lot more complicated than
For those who
anyone
know
could
George
have from The Big Bang Theory. You may recall the character as somewhat of a rough around the edges, no-nonsense dad. He was the kind of father who loved his family, but wasn't exactly the warm and fuzzy type. He had his flaws, his moments of rage, and his bouts of emotional distance, but at the core of it all, there was love. Now, in young Sheldon, we've seen glimpses of the softer side of George, but episode 9 finally brings together all the pieces of his character in a way that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about him. In this episode, George Cooper isn't just the stern father figure we saw in The Big Bang Theory. Instead, this version is shown in a more vulnerable light, capturing the essence of the man behind the tough exterior. Young Sheldon has spent years building up George's backstory, and with this clip, we now see him come full circle in a way that makes us look at the character with new eyes. Fans of The Big Bang Theory are about to get a whole new perspective on the man they thought they understood. Before this episode, young Sheldon depicted George as a well-meaning, if often misunderstood, father. He wasn't perfect by any means, but he was a steady presence for Sheldon and Missy. However, young Sheldon Season 6, Episode 9 gives us something much more nuanced. This George is torn between his love for his family and the pressures of life that are pushing him to the brink. The clip shows George at a crossroads, a moment that highlights the internal struggle we never fully got to see in The Big Bang Theory. Fans have speculated for years about George's complex personality, and now young Sheldon is answering the questions with an emotional intensity that feels real and raw. What's especially striking is how the show portrays George's emotional struggles, particularly when it comes to his marriage to Mary. Up until now, young Sheldon has hinted at tensions in their relationship, but in this clip, it's clear that George is dealing with personal demons and frustrations that have been simmering beneath the surface. These pressures culminate in a heartbreaking moment where George is forced to confront the weight of his actions and decisions, and the impact they have on the family he loves. For fans who've watched The Big Bang Theory and know that George's fate is ultimately tragic, this clip offers a glimpse into the dark road ahead for him. This isn't just about The Big Bang Theory's George anymore. This is about the man he was and the moments that led him to the place we see him in later. For anyone who's watched The Big Bang Theory, you know that Sheldon's relationship with his father, George, was strained. Though Sheldon adored his mother, Mary, his relationship with George was far more complicated. The tension between them ran deep, and it's easy to see how the growing conflict between Sheldon and George in this new clip is foreshadowing the troubled future. Ever the observant and sometimes oblivious genius picks up on subtle changes in his father's behavior. While George is trying to keep his emotions in check, Sheldon's keen mind isn't easily fooled. This creates a rift between them, a rift that will only grow wider as Sheldon starts to question the very man he's always looked up to. There's a poignant moment in the clip where Sheldon, sensing that something isn't right, asks George about his behavior, but George dodges the question. This moment hints at the emotional distance between them that will eventually lead to the fractured relationship we see later in The Big Bang Theory. What makes this scene so powerful is the complexity of George's character. Fans who only knew the tough, sometimes gruff version of George in The Big Bang Theory will now have to reconcile that with the more vulnerable man we see in this clip. The tension between George and Sheldon in this episode highlights how much things will change between them in the coming years. It's a painful but necessary part of George's evolution that will shape Sheldon's worldview and ultimately affect the course of his life. As young Sheldon continues to unfold, the show has taken great care to build a multidimensional portrayal of George. In The Big Bang Theory, we know that George's life is cut short and his tragic fate looms large over Sheldon's life. However, this moment in Season 6, Episode 9, gives us a closer look at the emotional depth behind George's actions, and it's heartbreaking to think about where this all will lead. While the clip is a powerful moment in and of itself, It's part of a much larger narrative that's slowly piecing together George's eventual demise. The emotional weight of the scene serves as a stark reminder that this kind, though flawed, man will not be around forever. The tension between George and his family, especially Sheldon, is only going to intensify as the series moves toward its inevitable conclusion. The relationship between George and his children, particularly Sheldon, will undoubtedly take center stage as we move closer to George's tragic death. This scene is laying the groundwork for an emotional journey that will eventually culminate in one of the most heart-wrenching moments in the Big Bang Theory lore. Fans are already bracing themselves for the fallout that will ensue as George's complicated legacy comes to light. Unsurprisingly, fans have had a major reaction to this pivotal moment in young Sheldon. Social media is buzzing with discussions about the emotional weight of the scene, with many expressing their shock and heartbreak over the deeper exploration of George's character. Fans of The Big Bang Theory are especially vocal, with many commenting on how the new clip reframes everything they thought they knew about George. Some fans have even gone so far as to say that this moment in Season 6, Episode 9 is the most powerful scene of the entire Young Sheldon series. It's a rare moment of true emotional depth that not only sheds light on George's character, but also gives fans an incredible preview of what's to come in Sheldon's future. As we move deeper into Young Sheldon's Season 6, the stakes are higher than ever. The tension between George and Sheldon is only going to escalate, and we can expect even more revelations about George's character as the season unfolds. The path ahead for George and his family is a rocky one, and with this latest clip, we're only just scratching the surface of the emotional roller coaster that's about to hit the Coopers. Will George's emotional journey play out as we saw in The Big Bang Theory, or will there be new surprises in store? Fans are on the edge of their seats, eagerly awaiting the next chapter in this unforgettable family saga. The Young Sheldon team has just delivered a masterclass in character development, and we can't wait to see where this journey takes us next. Stay tuned, this is only the beginning. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.